Hey guys, welcome back. Today is the day. We're going to take this mess of stuff and install it in the car. It's an Android head unit for the BMW M5 E60 series that I bought. The reason for upgrading it is the old, outdated stock unit in the car. It's got navigation, but it's from 2006. So to update that, you need to purchase an updated DVD, update the files. Just not interested in purchasing something like that when navigation is so good these days on a phone or an Android device. The other reason is music. You can't stream to the stock stereo in the car. The only thing you can do is plug one of these into the headphone jack of whatever you're plugging in, but again, nobody does that anymore. So let's get to it. Right, hopefully you guys can see this okay. So to get this piece out, this is the piece that we're going to be replacing. You have to take off this aluminum trim, or in my case it's aluminum. What I found easiest is just grab your fingernails behind here, give it a little pull to get it started, work your way along. And then the only piece that's still attached then will be this switch. Just push from the back. You can push it out and then you can get to the connector. It's just unplugs. Just watch the foam on the back, they don't catch it on too many things. Just gonna put this up out of the way up here. Our next step is going to be take out these two screws here. Once we've got that out, this piece should dislodge from around these two surrounds, but it's easiest if you start it from the bottom as well. Just get your hands behind and loosen up the bottom two clips. There we go. There's two more that sort of catch at the bottom of the stereo there. You just got to give it a little bit of beans. All right, I'll get you guys a little closer here. The next portion is removing the connectors on the back. There's three connectors for the fan controls. That one just has a tab on it. This one's got the little release, so you just push on the back of it and then the little gray handle will fold down. And same with this one. Once you've got that off, you get a little more room to pull this forward some more. And you'll see there is more attached at the bottom here, so I've got another 3 plugs to dislocate. Click them all the way open. That gets rid of the center controls. Okay, and now the actual screen is up here, but the control unit is this piece here, where a main connector is going to be. So let's take out, and yours might be different. I have the navigation system, so I have the larger chunk of electronics there. before screws on mine. And this should pull out. Just be careful you don't set this down somewhere and scratch up your dash. There's a few connectors on the back of this here that need to get undone. But they're fairly easy to get out. All right, she's off. All right, the screen itself, it's just a Torx number 10 little guy. And they're not super tight. Once you get them started, you can just get them out by hand. Now this should pop forward, lift up a little bit as I clip at the bottom. And here we go. Here's what the stock unit looks like. So depending on what version you have, CCC or CIC, I believe these connectors are different. The CCC unit has a 10 pin. I think the other one's a 4. All right. And we're out. All right, so just looking this over, this is the mess of cables we've got. This here is going to go to the back of the new display, which will of course sit up in the hole up top there. The old power connector from the old display doesn't get used anymore. This will plug into the bottom here. The other part of this harness gets sandwiched between where your stock connector went into the CCC unit and to the back of this old CC unit itself on the back here. The other portions that break out of this harness from the back of the display are the inputs for, they call it DVD, and for CCC, those are for the Rearview camera, and if you want a front facing camera, you can connect those there. Power leads you don't need to worry about. They are, I'm not sure what they would be for DVD unit, I guess. The one that I'm gonna have to need is this CCD 12 volts. This is the trigger signal for the Rearview camera. If we look at that, this is the Rearview camera. The main cable pulled in, just got it sitting down here. The hardest part, honestly, was getting this piece to route up through to the top here. Don't really have any advice other than, for me, I brought the cable out here from the bottom, pulled it out here, which was pretty easy. Then I reversed it and stuck it underneath this duct here and curled it sort of up. And then put your other hand down behind here and you'll feel the connector come up, and you can grab it with 2 fingers and just kind of pull it out. That's how it worked best for me. What we need to do next is the optical cable, if your car has it here. This connector here, it comes out on the stock harness that went to the CCC unit. These 2 pins here, that's the optical connections for audio, so we need to transfer those to the other harness. So the easiest way to do this one is to grab something small enough to release this tab, like a razor blade or pin or something. And you can see there's a little latch that holds it in right here. What I found easiest is just take a razor blade or something small, pry the latch up a little bit, and you can give it a gentle tug and out it comes. So these are numbered. If you can see, number 2, number 1, so don't worry too much about mixing them up. They only go in one way. So we're going to transfer them to the new connector. If you forget where they came from, you look on the front. They came out of the far edge, numbered 1 and 2. The new connector doesn't have the numbers, but in it goes. Now what we're going to do is just grab our auxiliary cable, which I have installed here on the stock connector, and it will plug into the jack here. Mine's routed into the glove box, so I'm going to need to pull it back. If you guys are looking for an easy spot to get a cable through into the glove box, down here, this little shock absorber for the glove box has a little plastic pin you pop out, and then grab the main body of this at the top and you give it a 90-degree twist, and it just pulls out, and it leaves a, I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you, but it leaves a pretty big hole up there. That's easy to get to. And because of the way you insert this and twist it, when it's twisted, it leaves quite a big space left for cable to come out. So that's where I'm going to run my USB cable down, so I can get it inside the glove box to hook memory sticks and things to. Okay, so for the USB cables, I just went ahead and took the clip out of the support strap for the glove box. It just pops out, and then there's screws here along the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another one here. 5, so 6 screws total, and then this just pulls down, and that gives you lots of room to get behind there and tuck the cable under the, over the just under that support bar, and it'll come out by the fuse box here and end up inside the glove box. So alright, so here's what we end up with, which looks like a pretty big mess, but it really isn't too bad. We've got the stock connector and the new connector is pigtailed. Those just click together. You'll know when you line up the pins, it'll start to close on you. It's latched. Then we've got the audio, and that's going to plug into the audio connector, of course. I think I'm going to tape that up a little bit, and I'm going to tape these up a little bit, of course. These go back into the stock CCC unit, as does this. I'm not sure what this connector's for, but I don't think we're going to be needing that. So I'm going to neaten this up a little bit, tuck it back in, plug these back into the stock unit, and I'll get back to you when that's done. Right, so here's what we're looking at when everything's kind of back together. Not bad. The main plug with all the orange cables there, the cables for the new unit are fairly stiff. You have to kind of bend those down and out of the way while you manage the latching handle to get the pins to line up as you're pushing it in, and then once it grabs, then you can just push that lever shut and it kind of pulls the connector in on its own. So that was about the only troublesome part. Other than that, tuck everything up far up out of the way on the left there if you can, and let's see if it goes back together. Right, so it's a little tight getting that unit back in. You have to make sure to tuck the cables up and to the right, up and to the left as much as you can. I did lose one screw down between the seat rails, of course, but that's not a fault of the kit. That's just my Sasquatch hands. So next I'll be putting this other panel back in, buttoning this up, so then we're just left with the display unit up top. So I'll see you guys once I get this cover snap back in. Right, so just so I don't have to go back in here later, I did connect the backup camera, the long umbilical cord that goes to the back. The video I've connected to CCD, CVBSN, and CCD plus V. I think that's correct. The other ones are DVD input, 360 camera control, and DVD power out, which I believe those are going to be for the dash cam, but DVR might not even stand for digital video recorder. It might be dash video, I don't know. Anyways, I hope that's right. If not, I'll have to go back in, I guess. Now I'm going to connect all these back up to the back of the new head unit and push it into the hole, and then we'll do a test. Alright, this is going to be a little bit hard to see because it's so reflective, but that's it powered up, and it's talking to the car. Open up my door, and I get the door symbol. Right, I will get back to you guys once I get some settings in here to get it hooked up to the network. I think it looks pretty good. As far as fitment goes, looks pretty close to the stock one. Apparently if you hold menu down 3 seconds. Yeah. iDrive is not quite coming in. I think I need to do some settings for that, but it is picking up the data. So, need to do a little bit of checking in the settings in the menu. Alright, so when you turn on the car, be in the BMW menu, if you go to the iDrive, hold down your menu button for 3 seconds. It'll toggle the Android unit into its display, and you can toggle back and forth at will. Now, I had to change some settings on the Android unit. So go into Home, then go into the Settings menu, About, and it'll give you your Android versions and everything. But if you look here, Factory Settings, click on that. The passwords are different for different manufacturers, I've noticed. Mine happens to be 8888, but I only found that after looking through a few websites. So I'll list some common codes later here that worked for other people. And then BMW settings. Here you've got your car type. I had to choose the right screen for mine, which is the 8.8-inch CCC screen type 12. The type, or sorry, type 13. Type 12 didn't work for me. Some of the older, smaller units would be the 6.5-inch screen. So if you find that when you go to your factory menu, when you flip over to that, it only takes up part of your screen, or it's purple, it doesn't look right, go in here first and try one of the other settings for your screen size. I had to try a couple to get it to work right, and I ended up with 13. This car, auxiliary switch mode. Mine was switched to auto, and I would find every once in a while that the audio for the car wouldn't work. It would try to switch my stock stereo, the BMW stereo, in and out of auxiliary, which you don't want. I just turned that off so mine stays in auxiliary, because I spend most of my time in the Android head unit. And that got me going. The front door toggle switch there, that allows you to toggle, for some reason, the polarity of the switch. So if your door always shows open and shows closed when you open it, try toggling that. Same with the displaying door status. Mine was off. I had to turn that on. So that brought that up. You can change things like your temperature units. You can flip them between metric and imperial. Same with the oil quantity units. Nothing else in here I had to touch. Believe that is the only thing I changed. You can mess around with the boot logo. The time zone was right on mine, but if yours isn't, you could look in here in the time zone one. But believe that's all I had to change on mine. And then once you're in here, you've got the built-in navigation for the unit. They usually have their own built-in, their own music app, Bluetooth for streaming Bluetooth music directly. You can go into the vehicle information here, and you can get yourself a nice dashboard. It displays things like I'm hitting the brake right now. It'll show you brakes on. It'll show you the park and distance control unit in here. It'll show you doors open. So if I open the driver's door, pops up that. Same with the trunk. It's pretty handy, actually. Pretty good. It's similar to the type of display you get in like a Torque Pro or something. And then the other one, my BMW, takes you back to the BMW screen. So, but if you go into apps, you can get full Android Auto. I've got Spotify installed here. I've got Google Maps installed. A lot of different functions, or a lot of different apps are available. It's not a dummy down version of Android, so you can put whatever you want on here. I've actually installed a video player as well. You can even bring up YouTube if you like. Whatever you can think to install, you can use in here. I don't have the internet on at the second, so that's not going to work. But yeah, you can hotspot to your phone. Some of these you can actually get an SD card, not SD, a SIM card slot in. You can get a SIM card for these and use a cell network directly. But I just hotspot my phone when I need internet. And when I want to download a playlist to Spotify for offline playing, I just talk to the Wi-Fi in the house, because this, of course, has Wi-Fi connectivity as well. So you can go into that. Under the settings, you can connect to Wi-Fi in Android and hook to it there. I don't think it was through here. No, you have to go into the Android settings, and in here you can set the network right here, of course. Network and sorry about that. Network and internet lets you set all that up just like on your Android phone. So pretty easy to do. Okay, one more thing you need to make sure of is that the CCC unit in the BMW is set to auxiliary input, because that's where it gets its audio from. So if you're not in auxiliary input, go to the entertainment tab in iDrive and select auxiliary as the input. Alright, that's it for now, guys. I hope you learned something from this. I'll flash a couple screens up that I took for a few different features in this radio that I have set up, but you can pretty much set it up the way you like.